Hi everyone, Wizarding Journey here, and today I'm going to show you how to make these DIY back-to-school supplies. So first, I'm going to show you how to make these notebooks. So first I grabbed a notebook, and then I also have a link in the description of all the printout sheets that I used for this, so I'll have them down in the description for you guys to recreate these. But basically I have 2 sheets of scenes of the manga from Shoto and one of Kirishima, but you'll see that later. And so I just cut everything out, and then I glued a white piece of paper on top of the cover of the notebook, and then started arranging the slides from the manga onto the piece of paper how I liked them. And once I decided that's how I wanted to do it, I took a picture of it and then started gluing all the pieces onto the notebook. And then I trimmed the edges so that it wouldn't overlap from the notebook. And then the last step that I did was I cut out the colored Todoroki, glued that on top of the manga slides. And for the next notebook, I made a Camp notebook. So again, I just got a regular notebook, put a yellow piece of cardstock, and glued that on with Mod Podge. And then I cut out the logo from Camp and just glued that on top. And again, I trimmed the edges so that nothing would hang over. The next notebook that I made was a Tokyo Ghoul one. I saw this really awesome piece of art that I wanted to recreate, and so I basically got this concrete texture and printed that out, and then printed out the masks separately and glued those on top of each other. And again, I cut off the excess that was standing off of the notebook, and I glued everything together with Mod Podge. Now for the Pokemon one, I created this Pokemon thing with my sister's 6 favorite Pokemon. And so I just found images of the Pokemon she liked online, and I created this collage of her favorite Pokemon. And once I finished everything digitally, I just printed it out, cut out the excess white parts, and then glued it on with Mod Podge. And then for the next one, I made a Dr.Stone notebook. And so basically I got this broken rock texture online and printed it out. Again, everything is going to be down in the description in the Google Drive link, and you'll have all the files that I used. And then once I glued that on, I again cut off the excess that was standing over the notebook. And then I drew a little potion bottle on top of it, because in the concept art or art that you see of him, when you Google Dr. Stone, he's holding this little flask, and so I was thinking just to recreate it. And I used acrylic paints for this. And so I used the blue color and that was shown in the picture, and then I made a thicker white outline around it. Now for all of the notebooks, I actually used this plastic adhesive film on top of it just to protect the notebooks better. I'll have a link in the description down below to have a similar piece of film that you can use on top of your notebooks. And then I cut off the corners of it to make it fold easier. Now I'm going to show you how to make these dividers. So for the first one, I used Kirishima. It's similar to the Shoto notebook, but just as a divider. So I tried at first to use Mod Podge to glue it onto the divider, but that didn't work. So later on, I again used that clear plastic film. But same with the Shoto notebook, I just got slides from the manga where Kirishima was in and just cut all of it out. And then later on, I just cut out the colored Kirishima as well. And then again, I glued all the scenes of the manga onto a white piece of paper and then glued Kirishima on top. So next is going to be a Gravity Falls divider. And so I found this awesome piece of art online, and so I printed it out and just cut out the circle part because the black didn't match up my black paper. And then I got a piece of black paper and glued that on top. The next one I'm going to show you is a Mob Psycho one, and so I just drew Bull's face on top of it onto a green construction paper, and then used acrylic paint to color in the pieces that weren't supposed to be green. Later on, when all the paint dried, I took a micron pen to make the black outlines. Next, I'm going to show you how to make this Fullmetal Alchemist one. So I found this really cool piece of art online, and then I just added the alchemy circle on top, and I'll have the image linked down below. And so, as I said before, I just used the same adhesive clear film as I used on the notebooks with the dividers. And so I just put that on top and made a little hole for the little tab where you can put in whatever subject you used, and then just folded the corners over again, like I did before with the notebooks. And so for this one, I just combined a bunch of JoJo memes together and did the same thing again with the clear plastic film, just put it on top to protect it. And here's me trying to figure out if I have enough of the clear plastic film left, because this was the last roll that I had, and so I had to Frankenstein it together. And next I'm going to show you how to make these covers for your binders. So the first one that I chose was making an unknown binder cover. And so basically what I did was spell out my sister's name on the front cover, since this is going to be her binder cover. And then I put a bunch of random unknowns around her name. And I made her name the biggest unknown. And then I took a Sharpie and also a micron pen for the smaller unknowns and just colored and traced around what I created before. And then finally I erased all the pencil marks. And then for the fruits basket binder cover, I just got 2 pictures of the dog zodiac because my sister is of the year of the dog. So I just got 2 images of his human form and then his zodiac form, and just added a pink background because I thought it complemented the green. And then I also added these white paint splatters in the back. And then lastly, I just got the symbol or the sign for the dog zodiac in the back. And then I just cut off the excess and put it on into the front sleeve of the binder. And finally, I'm going to show you how to make this Yuri on Ice bookmark. So I basically just got an image of the dog and just kept his head, and the bottom half of it just made the same color as his fur. And then on the bottom I put the Yuri on Ice logo, and I just printed it out and cut it out. And so I'll also have this in the description down below in the Google Drive link. And then finally I put a piece of cardstock on the back to have a little bit of color on the back, but if you want you can just leave it white. And then I cut it out one more time. And that's it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys really like these DIY anime and fandom school supplies. If you guys like this video, feel free to give a like, and if you guys want to see more anime and fandom related content, feel free to subscribe.